Well, welcome to another episode, Let the Truth Be Told. My name is Sean Williams, and I am so glad to be in the studio once again. Sitting here with my brother Hub, and we are going to have an excellent program. Excellent program today. We're going to call that in the name of Jesus. I thank the Lord for Jason being in the studio back in the back here in the technical side of it and getting everything together.
J4M.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it cold right now. J4M.
Hey, getting it together for us, man. Great, beautiful day outside.
Yeah.
Beautiful day. Weather's nice. I thank the Lord for being able to run into some folks today and love on some folks today and come talk about
Man, I had
stuff.
LDA today, and my assistant, Tanya Kirby, blew it out the water, had the video going and everything. I was just able to sit back and go get the pizza.
Yeah, so I was able to check out a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was really good, talking about delayed gratification.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Well, I thank the Lord for everybody that tune into us every Sunday night, everybody that's on the Facebook Live, on the feed. Hey, share. If we can see your comments way, kind of far back, then that's what we'll do. And so we'll get it in for you. So I thank the Lord, Brother Hub. Hey, just came up off a beautiful weekend. I mean, just 2 or 3 days of just being loved on by some great people throughout the community. We always say it's about relationships.
Yes, sir.
And so I thank the Lord for new relationships that we developed throughout that couple-day process. I thank the Lord for being selected. So it goes all the way back to the Martin Luther King celebration for Community Outstanding Achievement and Service to the Community Award that I received, and being at a Ford and fast forward at Ford and being able to receive the Business Impact Award from the Champaign Schools Foundation. And so I'll tell a little bit, give a backdrop. We had a reception that was on Friday night. Thank the Lord for you always got my back.
Yes, sir.
There.
Yes,
Me
sir.
and you
I had
and
a good time.
We had a great time. Hey, I appreciate that. And then on the second day, we had the actual event at the I Hotel.
Yes, sir.
And I thank the Lord for Kelly. Great people. Oh my goodness. And so I wanted Kelly Hill. She did an excellent job.
Kelly Hill, shout out to you, girl.
Yeah, big shouts out to her right here. She's the director. Kelly Hill's the executive director. Linda Prom is the associate executive director. And Patricia Denson is the program officer, which put a great program together. Committee members was Dennis Donaldson, the committee co-chair, and Pius Weibel, which is the committee co-chair also, Angie Franklin, Michelle Gonzalez, Patricia McKinney-Lewis, Prue Rankle was also part of that. And so I really appreciate it. Man, it just turned out excellent. Took me all day to get my speech together, and so I put a speech together that I knew kind of who was going to be in the room, and I wanted to tailor and I wanted to prick the hearts of many. And
standing ovation.
Patricia Avery said I did that. I did that. So big shouts out to you. I really appreciate it. Tip my hat to you, man. We don't do what we do to get awards, but it always good, as Mother Hattie say, to get your flowers while you living.
Oh, Barbara Gillespie, shout out to her too. She laid that prayer on you right before you went up.
Boy, she knew I was nervous. I kept on.
She put that Kojic prayer on.
I kept on hitting that water, and I could tell the saints beside me was going through. And so she laid hands on my back, and so my mom. I thank the Lord for my mom being there.
So proud.
Tanya being there. My sister Cecilia. Thank you. I love on you, sis. I appreciate it. I appreciate Jamar, Miss Amanda being there, one of our close friends in the family. I really appreciate her. I mean, because she gave that voice for encouragement to me. Councilman Cowles and his wife, I appreciate them being at the table. But bro, I really appreciate all the support you did for me, man. I really appreciate it, man.
You my guy.
Just to have somebody to.
I'm learning too, Sean. I'm learning. I mean, I got your back, but I'm learning. I'm really learning from you. I really am. I'm learning because, I can be a mess. I mean, I can be. And so I'm learning this town. You know what I'm saying? Man, I see my target. I'm ready to knock my target down. I ain't trying to do all that other stuff. I'm trying to shoot. So I'm learning, and I'll tell everybody I'm learning from you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing, man. Somebody said, man, when y'all Sean gonna have somebody else on the show? man, I want to be on the show. I said, well, talk to Sean. And then I ran into Kaliko Bowie at Parkland's practice. Shout out to Figueroa, man. I watched him practice. I see his kids came up to me before he got in there, just respectful. Shout out to Fig and Kaliko. But Kaliko said, man, y'all balance each other out. And so, man, that way.
You know, back to that school's foundation. Big shouts out to Betsy Hendricks. She won the local hero award. Also, a distinguished alumni honoree was Jennifer Duval. She won a distinguished alumni honoree. Another distinguished alumni honoree was Matthew Allender. He won, and a good dude that we met. Mr. Chung Hung Lee.
Yeah, what he said his name was?
Distinguished Honor Lee, Larry. And so,
I didn't know he was Korean to the end, because our show went up, but he said he don't even know Korean.
You know one thing about, he's a judge down in Gwinnett County. And he's met all kind of dignitaries from across the country. And it goes to show how you can't judge a book by its cover. Because he grew up in Lincoln Trailer Park.
Like 1 minute from me.
And one of the things that was the males, I know at least the males that got up and said something, we all grew up from a single mom. All of us grew up from a single mom. No matter which direction we went in life, we would grew up from a single mom. But it amazed me how you can't judge a book by its cover, man. I mean, he had a Southern accent. And he said I stole his y'all. You know, I stole his y'all in my speech, and you know, and being able to relate to everybody. Because one thing I don't want to do, never, is talk over somebody's head. My mama said, don't talk over nobody's head. You know, don't say so many big words that we lose folk. You know, everybody can understand right here. And so, so I really appreciate that, and I tip my hat once again. I want you to go ahead. We got to get some shots out to some folks.
Shout outs. Sigma Gamma Rho Incorporated. They did a youth symposium 2019. Some of the ladies that oversaw that was Siobhan Brown Walker, Jaylee Brown, I hope I'm saying that right, Sheafin Wright, Wanjel Harvey Robertson, J Mack, a.k.a. Jessica Mack, I don't even know her, but I saw that. Caridia Shelby, up-and-coming superstar. Katina Wilcher. So those were some of the individuals who participated in the Female Youth Symposium. Saturday, I had the privilege of going to an event. Sam Smith, the outreach guy for Credit Center, they dubbed it, called it Man-to-Man Conference. It was for young men and older men, and it was amazing. A lot of these kids running around here with PTSD, for real. You know, when I got back from Iraq, my doctor told me that my mind wasn't going to get back for 6 to 18 months.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and it ended a 24-year-old marriage. 24 years, boom, gone. Because my mind was still over there. So it was Sam Smith, shout out to him. Dr. Charles Young attended, E. Martell Miller, Dante Lotz. Nathan Stevens, I met him. He's the director of African American Culture Center. David Northern, James Ted Corbin was a few that went, and it was really, really good. Also, the week before last, Restoration had their 26 years maybe anniversary with Pastor Irvin Williams. When I walked in, man, the Spirit of God was all over that place. Johnny Harris ain't gonna never leave you hanging, man. He spoke a really good word. And shout out to Tori Exum, Urbana School Board, and William Kyles, again, City Council, Champaign City Council, and Monica Hall from Rand 2. Sam and Monica Hall. Monica is the new board member of the high school, not the city school, but the county. And so I had Sean Williams on here, but you kind of, man, but it was just so awesome, just following you around, taking pictures and watching you do. But and we'll get more into this, but I learned so much that weekend. You know, they could have gave it to all different types of people who had bigger businesses or pastors, you know, they could, but man, I learned why they gave it to you. I learned how they perceive you. it was genuine love in there. I know fake when I see, and I can play the game. I know how to play the game. I was in the military 20 years. I know how to play the game. But man, it was a genuine spirit of love and harmony in that place, in the I Hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one was cool too. But the I Hotel, just watching people interact with each other, man, and you always say this. We got a lot of potential.
Oh man,
it's a beautiful city, man.
Huge
and
potential.
So Kelly, man, you set the tone
for some great work.
Yeah, just your friendliness and openness to it was beautiful.
Oh man.
And if it wasn't, I just wouldn't have said nothing.
Right.
I wouldn't say this on TV, and if it wasn't true.
Oh yeah.
I just wouldn't say nothing. But we supposed to let the truth be told both ways. And so it was amazing.
And so man, and that's what the show's called, Let the Truth Be Told.
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
keeping 100 and real.
Yes, sir.
I'm like you, I wouldn't have said nothing.
Yes, sir. It was awesome.
Or I would have called it what it was.
Sir. Sean, how you doing? Sean, how you doing? The Chancellor, we got to hang out with the Chancellor a little bit.
Met some awesome people that you would only see, on television or in a setting or something, and you don't have them, where you can physically talk to them.
Yeah.
But God blessed it where they came to me.
Yeah, and so I just want to hit this, and then you could get in. But I don't want to forget this. We talked about it a little bit on the radio show. We're blessed to be a blessing.
Yes.
And through relationships, we're able to go back and help our community.
Right.
The guys in the 70s and 80s was at the table false flagging. Because the people that were helping them thought that they were taking it back to the community, but they wasn't.
Right.
And I think that's one of the major reasons why they gave you this award. Because I'm sure some people, African Americans, that are doing bigger business than you, but they out of touch.
Well, one of the things about it is that it's only 3 African Americans that ever got that school's foundation award.
Miss America.
So Miss America.
And the college president, Robert Mock, who went to school.
And Robert Mock, who went to school with me.
Yeah.
And then little old me.
Little old you.
Little old me.
Little old you.
You know what I'm saying?
Little old you.
North end of Champaign-Urbana.
Little old
Douglas Center Park.
Yes, sir.
Boys Club.
Yes, sir.
Champagne Street.
Yes, sir.
Beach Street in Urbana.
Yes, sir.
As we always talk, don't despise small beginnings.
Right.
And it ain't about where you start, it's always where you finish.
It's a scripture that says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men.
But you got to be walking into your purpose, and we're going to get into something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm done. I'm rolling.
We're going to get into some of our dialogue on that. And so I thank the Lord for that event, those awards and those accolades. We had some other things go on throughout the nation, and so I knew nothing about what had happened. I knew nothing about this rapper. I knew nothing about him. So a rapper named Nipsey Hussle. He's from an area where I first started cutting hair at.
Okay.
Once I got back to Champaign, knew this wasn't for me and my travels throughout the military and all that, and I was able to have an opportunity to move out there with my ex-brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He stayed in Long Beach. He went to the Navy,
LBC.
and we moved out there. And then I was able to, my first shop I ever worked in was Watts, 103rd in Wimbledon, with Grape Street Crips, and I started developing a style out there. I knew I couldn't be like them. Everything they wore was great, purple, and so I wanted to distinguish myself, so I'm shirt and tied up. They knew it was something different about a brother. So then the young lady that had that barber shop, she had 5 more locations at a young age. She was walking within her purpose. She had flourished throughout the city, and she had a shop that she wanted me to run because she seen the professionalism about me. She said, "Sean, can you run my shop and help me run my shop and help me clean it up on 54th and Crenshaw?" Well, 54th and the Crenshaw is adjacent to the neighborhood right around the corner. So like one big city block down is Slauson and Crenshaw. And Slauson and Crenshaw is where Nipsey had started his development of his clothing store, and his whole empire was right there one block down. So I knew once I started looking at the story and I started seeing the different landmarks, I started identifying and saying, man, that's that post office where I used to pass all my flyers out at, and I would grab and get my first customers and convince them to come on and get a free cut from me or get a half off cut from me. You know, when I seen the school that he went to at a young age, Crenshaw High School, well, that's that high school that I used to catch them students when they came out of high school and give them that flyer that Darlene said, a closed mouth don't get fed, baby. You got to go down there and let somebody know that you cut, because you cut pretty good, but don't nobody know you're in here. And so I used to go down there to them students. So it kind of touched me. It kind of touched me when I started, you know, reading folks' stuff. It's almost going back after when they pass away, you start memorializing and you start developing, well, who is this person? And who are the people that we're talking about? And I started looking at all the community work that this young man did. At the age of 33, he got killed at 33. At the age of 33, you know, what was so significant about him? So I read up the stuff that he did with Dr. Sebi, and Dr. Sebi was the guy that had come up with the cure for AIDS and the cure for diabetes and heart attack and strokes and syphilis and so many different diseases that African American community seemed to be detrimental. He identified it, and he came up with something, and he even went to jail for it, and he was able to protest and go back,
he beat the case.
and he beat the case because he convinced the judge that, man, I did nothing wrong because you say I'm practicing as a doctor, but I'm using herbs. And he had a way to tackle it, and it goes in alignment with what we've always talked about, pharmaceutical companies and all these things where the devil's in the details. Because right now, if you can't see from here to there, they got a pill for you. You know, if you can't sleep, they got a pill for you. You know, if your pinky toe hurt on the right side, they got a pill for you.
A pill to go to sleep and a pill to wake up.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
Big Pharma.
Come on, man. And so I looked at those details. Then I looked at the details of where the young man's head was. In his rap music, he talked about uplift. He talked about the betterment of his people.
Yes, he did.
He did old school rap in a new wave.
In a new wave.
With a new generation. He did old school rap, old school beats in a new generation. To uplift the new generation, his generation.
That's right. That's right.
So he was ahead of his time all the way through, because when they talked about him and they interviewed him as a young man at Crenshaw High School, he said, man, you know, I'm not like these other guys. I don't care about the clothes, the cars, you know, the this, the that. He said, those are material things.
Yes, sir. He sure
We need to think on another level and think about investment.
Investment. That's sure what he said.
You know, he said he talked about the investment and investment into community, investment into homes and purchasing homes and all of those different dynamics. So it let me know that the young man was working within his purpose. So many times we're working not in alignment with our purpose, and so we wonder why our gift ain't working, because that gift ain't your purpose.
That's right. That's right.
That ain't your purpose. You're not working within your gift. You working with what your thoughts is, or what somebody done said. Man, you make a good this, and you wonder why you unhappy every day you go to do this, because you're working outside of your gift. And so, and your focus. And so I want you to chime in, because I know that, I know you did some research. And,
it was so much out there, but what really got me is T.I., the rapper T.I. They interviewed him for just about 2 minutes. And the interview was so powerful because we did a segment on the same subject maybe 4, 5, 6 months back. Who are you? Who do you think you are? So what T.I. said that it was due to lack of education, lack of experience, and lack of opportunity in our community. Most of us who are subject to confinement mean we don't never go nowhere. I always talk about exposure. LDA, we getting out of town. Because a lot of them guys around Crenshaw and Slauson, they don't leave their set. And so their minds are held handcuffed to where they are. And so he went on to say most of the ones there are subject to the confinement of their hood and operate and exist in such a very low vibration, is what he called it. Very remedial. Get up, hang on the corner, go home. Next day, get up, hang on the corner, go home. Next day, get up, you know, repetition. And so he said they operate at a low vibration and very remedial in our thinking. So when we see people who operate in a high vibration or he called it well-read or real travel. We both always bring up the military, always, because it had an impact when we left Champaign I left Champaign speaking one language, came back speaking 5.
Right.
You know, straight out of Dunbar Court. And so it had an impact. You went to Cali, you went to Georgia, you went to Germany, got some of that Osbach over there and some of them schnitzels. And so that brought a very diverse culture to Beach and Hickory. Man, they don't do stuff like this in Beach. I remember I went to Korea and we hit the corner to go in, and man, I'm talking about, man, it was I had never seen nothing like it. So he goes on to say, when they see people who operate at a high vibration, well-read and travel more, and because they're experienced more things, you got 2 choices. You can either learn from that guy, right, and roll with him. And it reminded me of Jesus on the Sea of Galilee when the winds blew and he was asleep. And they was, Master, you gonna let us perish? And he woke up and said, peace be still. He said, do you know purpose? I got purpose. It didn't. The Torah didn't say that I would die in the sea. It said I'm gonna be crucified. So as long as you with me, purpose is on board. And so he kind of, I'm paraphrasing, but either you gonna get with the guy who got purpose and roll into destiny with him, or you gonna detest their very existence.
I mean, I couldn't help but to focus and zoom back in on me. Because when you compare somebody's story like that, community guy, activist guy, I mean, he didn't have to do any of this.
Right.
He could do like most folks, go live in your big old home somewhere, travel around the country, keep getting bread, and never look back.
Never look back.
Because that's what most of our folk do.
Yeah.
You know, get a good job, get a good career, get a good education, don't come back to their community and give nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't have to. But something about him said, you got to reach back. And something about me, so our stories contrast so good together and mirror so good together because what the same spirit that he had, because he's saying, because I watched the story where they had their studio in the little house right there. And I knew how them houses look, you know, in them houses in LA. You know, you got the house, then you got the middle part of the house, then you got the back part of the house, and then you got a back house because of the overcrowding in LA. And so when I looked at that, I looked at the room where they started out at, and all the brothers from the hood started out, and the brothers with the old dookie braids, and he showed them the room. See, he didn't forget where he started from.
He put everybody
and he wanted to bring everybody with him and at least encourage them to come on board. Look, we found another way. And so it mirrors me in what I'm been trying to do within the Champaign-Urbana community and abroad. It's, hey, man, mirror, and we got another way. And that's what I think the Schools Foundation and all them educators and all those donors, they seen how I've zoomed in and I've been able to help people throughout that.
You didn't get the spirit of amnesia.
No, man, you can't forget.
But what I loved about it, and I forgot to mention this part, when I watched all weekend and I studied and I watched, and one of the things that T.D. Jakes is my guy. But T.D. Jakes is a way better businessman than he is a preacher. And he's a good preacher. But the man know how to do business. And so that's what really came to my mind. You know how to do business. And you know how to do business without getting amnesia. You see what I'm saying? You know how to do business, the cotillion people calling, but when the body of the haircut needed, they ain't nowhere around. You see what I'm saying? And man, you shouldn't get mad. And I tell you this all the time, and you got it now. We never can get mad at where people spend their money. I had a guy call me the other day. Hey man, I'm looking at this. I said, man, you be dressing sharp. Where you get your clothes at? He said, I usually go to the mall. I said, well, that's probably where you need to go now. And some people could have said that's harsh for me, but that's the only way they gonna learn. I ain't mad if you don't shop with me, that's fine. But don't come asking me, you robbing Peter to pay Paul. And so I really think that's just one of the reasons. Because you didn't forget, man. you've done business, and you got another business venture you just started a couple of, but you always bring it back down to simplicity. You know what I'm saying? To the community. You can go up on the Architects Week and do what you do, but you don't stay there. You come back down to the construction site and show love.
You know, one of the things about this guy Nipsey and what happened to him. You know, Nipsey Hussle, he got murdered. You know, they came out to find out it was one of the gang members. I think it was somebody within his gang. The guy's name is Eric Holder. That they
had a picture. I just posted a picture.
They caught up with him. You know, within hours of this murder. In broad daylight, in front of his own shop. You know, and I thought about that, man. You know how many days? I mean, I'm fighting for community. You know, I'm trying to run the shop down there, and I'm trying to keep everybody safe. And we got a melting pot of people in there, and you know, we got guys that ain't on nothing, and we got guys that's got their whole life planned out for them. You know, and got you know, really a lot of responsibilities and people that's counting on them across the world. You know, and so we got these guys, man. I got one guy that was in the shop. He was a prince in this country, but he never did want me to say anything. I got them mixing together. You know, so now I got all this responsibility laid on my shoulder, plus this good haircut, you know, and so
throw that in,
you know, plus this good haircut. But I got to watch and be zooming around on everything. So I'm watching this parking lot, and I'm going out there and I'm checking folks, and I'm like, move on if you ain't doing it, you ain't on the right stuff, you know, all of these different things. So I'm the responsible person for that whole area, because I knew when something go down,
it's happening on your watch.
It's happening on my watch, and they ain't gonna say it was at the corner store. They ain't gonna say it was probably BCP. They gonna say, man, that wasn't nothing but Sean Williams down there, man. Them guys do. You know, because that's the way we like to throw it. When we get the mudslinging, we want to highlight somebody. And so when I looked at it, man, and then I looked at who attacked him, who killed him, and what did you do it for? I dissected all of that. I mean, and so many times what T.I. was saying is so on point. It's so on point, you know, with the amount of you working in a toxic environment.
Yes, sir.
So we working in this toxic. I just left Easter Banner. And I was talking to the lady in her house, and I'm talking about Easter Banner, and I'm talking about the resources, the lack of resources in Easter Banner. Okay, and so I'm working in Champaign, and I'm working with the young folks, and we working with Fresh Start, and we working with guys that got their own struggles, and guys that's deemed to be most violent guys in the community and stuff like that. And I always say this on this program: when folks look at your success, they think about their failures.
And that's exactly what he said.
So it's either one or two ways they gonna hop. They either gonna gravitate to the success and say, "It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. How can you help me out, Sean?" Or you do like some guys do, and that's why I don't stay out at clubs long, because I do go to clubs, keep it 100. And when I do go, I'm in and out. I do what my brother Joe said. Treat yourself special, because ain't nobody else gonna treat you special. You know, you gotta always know your surroundings. Know the devil out there to kill, steal, and destroy. So you know that's in that environment.
Familiarity breeds content.
So and so when I'm in that atmosphere, what happens is that the same people that we try to help is the same people that want to tear us apart. And I get
mad at you because they did a bit and you didn't.
And then I got educated folk. Man, what do you get the award like that for? You know, I'm way more should be more achieving and acceptable to this type of award and those type of, man, don't they know I did this? And well, they didn't choose you this time. Maybe your time is coming. But don't start killing my reputation through the community and start degrade me and then discouraging me from forward progress, because we all on the same team.
Supposed to be.
We supposed to be on the same team. But you over here blocking my shot, blowing my candle out, thinking your candle gonna grow. Knocked out Nipsey, good guy.
Hey, what you tell them at Centennial when you were speaking to the kids? Your circle consists of me, myself, and I.
That's it. Sometimes it got to be like that.
You don't want no big team.
No, we don't. My mom used to always tell me, don't let me catch you with a whole lot of people in this car.
Yeah.
You know, and that taught me something. That taught me a life skill.
Yeah.
Sometimes those little words and those old folks saying teach you a life skill.
Yeah.
You don't need a crowd with you all the time. You know, I mean, I know he was affiliated with the Crips and that. Right. I'm affiliated with some folks.
Right. Well, you can't influence, Sean. You can't influence the people if you're not gonna go around them. You know, you see what I'm saying? You just got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. But there's no way I can pull somebody that's totally in the mud out the mud and not get none on my hands. Right before I came here, 2 guys just popped up at my shop. Man, we need you. I didn't know them, but I did like my mom. I started asking. I know both of their dads. They come from great homes. They would not let me go, but it made me, low key, it made me feel good because they come from great dads. Yeah. Great dads. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they was locked in on me giving them something, and I don't know what it is, but we're going to meet this weekend.
But you know what? Even though when you come from a great background and great parents, and great grandparents, and you stayed across on the other side of town,
it takes a village.
It's still something that you might need.
Yes, sir.
You might just need that extra little push. And even though they good folk and they saying the right stuff, it's nothing like when the other person across on the other side that you respect say it, and it just get that more emphasis to it.
Yes, sir.
So it's nothing wrong. So it take all of us to play our role.
Yes, sir.
But you know, one thing when this brother got killed, man, I said, you know what, man, you know how many times, you know how many times that I've been in a position, man, where it ain't no dialing 911. And only by the grace of God and the mercy and the folks that have prayed for me and me being covered. You know what I'm saying? That I made it out of some situations because it's been gunplay down by my shop. You know, I done had guns thrown on me. You know, thank God that the devil just didn't get into the gunman and whack me off. But I done told all my folk, don't let nobody kill me in Champaign, man. Much work I done put in trying to help these folk, man.
Yeah, you better find them.
And man, and I'm telling you, keeping a 100 across the board, having swing about where the rocket used to be at. Because I've gave too much to this community, man. And for somebody to knock me down like they did this young man, man, as much as he done did, man, as much as he had more to give.
He was a hope dealer.
Man, anytime you got, and I was in LA, I know how LAPD roll. They got their own game.
Yeah, they roll.
So
they roll tough.
So when he didn't prick the hearts of men, where all men said, man, you know what, man, this brother right here pretty pure. The day before he got killed, he had a meeting with the police commissioner and they staff about how to address gang violence and gun violence.
The day he was planning to have it, the day after.
The day after. I mean, the day after. The next day.
He was supposed to have a meeting with them about gun violence.
About gang violence and gun violence in the city.
Yes, sir. True story.
Ain't that something, man? I mean, it reminded me so much of so many meetings that we have for Fresh Start and Community Coalition and all of these different things to help the very people that attack you. And you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna stop my work. Because I understand, just like this young man got killed at 33, he did more at 33 than most people do in their whole lifetime. You know? So you never know. That's why you love on your folk. That's why you love them. That's why you give them the flowers where they live. That's why you give them all the awards and the accolades and this, because we never know no time nor place when the Lord's gonna call you home.
He had probably way more, and some of it might have been because he's a rapper. But Sean, what I love about him, he was taking people somewhere. You see what I'm saying? And that's another reason that I believe. Strongly believe that you was well deserved of the award because you trying to take folks somewhere.
Man.
You know what I mean? You ain't just sitting, hitting the lick and just sitting on the job. Man, you really trying to move. And some folks go to their place of worship or whatever, and they leave there the same way they come, and they go do the same stuff.
Or worse.
Or worse. Nothing is pricking their heart, right? Nothing is pricking their heart for change. You know what I mean? And so this weekend was real, real special. I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot about this community. And really what they crying out for is people to influence. See, we got to clean up our own mess. Me and Jamil Jones met last week. That was a really great thing. Went over to and we talked about how we can, first of all, I apologized to him. Then we talked about how can we influence the community? Because University of Illinois can't allow for folks to be shooting on that campus every other week. It can't afford it because they got too much at stake. People all overseas coming. And so they really need to know who really has an influence. Right. They've been tricked for so many years. People, I got the influence, and ain't nothing changing. And so desperate times bring for desperate measures, and that's when the people who really got influence, we got to step up.
You know, I want y'all to buckle y'all seat out there in television land and Facebook land, because I'm going to hit you real hard. I'm going from a different angle with this. Okay, so one of the things when I started seeing everybody posting on social media and I started finding out all this stuff, and what I do is I hate fake and phony. Kill me when I see fake and phony. You know, we at all these funerals, man, and here you is on posting up about Nipsey, somebody you don't even know. That ain't even touchable, that ain't tangible. You can't call him out and say, Nipsey, he don't even know who you are. You know, but then you got folks, and I call it an angel amongst us. Because that's what he was, an angel amongst us.
I like that, I like that.
Folk like me and you that's working outside of our element, that's doing stuff that we ain't getting paid to do what we doing. And if you're getting paid, it's crumbs compared to the level of giving back that you're trying to do and accomplish. You know what I'm saying? And so when we got angels amongst us working, and then here you was posting all this stuff about Nipsey and this and this and this and this and that, and you won't even say thanks for the guy that mentored your kid. The guy that stayed, the coach that stayed later and drove him home or her home. The one that's going out the way down the street.
That's deep.
The one that's cutting the grass. Dante Lots, working with the most at-risk guys, not getting paid up to his potential, or where he should be at, and then he got to supplement some income. And nobody want to throw him an extra few. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I even reflected on myself, man. Man, I gave so much away. Since I've been in that funeral home business, I mean, because I understand how God's blessings happen, so you have to give in order to receive. So it's cool, the stuff that I done gave away. But I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, you know. But I want to say this right here. After you had those funerals, so I'm gonna go through a few names of some folks that you might know or you should know. And I'm gonna go through it because I'm gonna go through it. It's the fresh start letter that I wrote, but I'm gonna go through it in the way that I wrote it. And it's real stuff. It's real. It's real.
Tangible.
It's real. It's reality. So let's bring it back home. We talked about Crenshaw, but let's talk about 4th Street.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about Bradley Street.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about what happened down there by the Legion, or what happened in the Garden Hills neighborhood, or Easter Banner. This is at home. So right here, when I get to talking about real is real is when all of your family and friends see your lifeless body laying in that casket, unable to move. Let's start there. Real is when I did funerals for guys we all know, like Rakim Vineyard. Real. The only picture we see of his smiling, great face is on the headstone at the cemetery. Real is when my buddy Rashidi got killed from a robbery gone bad.
Good dude.
Angel amongst us. And his mother 6 years later crying every day. Real is Zachary Gray, Arsenio Carter, Alan Reddy, a.k.a. A.O., my high school classmate's Ricky's son, not even out 1 year before street life ran him to an early grave. Real is 6'4", 4-inch, 245-pound Marcus Boo Man Brown, a high school all-star athlete shot in the back of the head for a dime bag of weed. And at his funeral, the brothers that took him out for the greed helped us carry him into church for his final viewing. Real is Jeremy O'Neal, my little man Gus, Damian Henderson, Robert Brown, my little man Bam. Real is when my good friend Snap was telling us heroin got him trapped. And 2 weeks later, damn, that poison killed my friend Snap. Real is Darian, a.k.a. Carter, Buster the Hustler, who grew up in my shop with his brother Jay Sean, whose mother's eyes showed the true reflection of a real grieving mother's love. Real is Jamil Hendricks, Terry Moore Jr., and at Terry's funeral, his twin daughter said, Sean, wake my daddy up. Real is Ashley Gibson, not being here to watch her kids graduate. Real is Erica Cox getting accidentally shot while walking from the store while minding her own business. Real is Bubba killing G-Unit and got 60 years. Real is most recently good dudes like 15-year-old David Sankey, KT, and my Army buddy Darren Mitchell. You know, these are all guys that we know in this community. But what happens after the funeral?
Business as usual.
We go back to business as usual. We go back to business as usual. Nobody's heart's pricked. Nobody's different.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm trying to say. You ain't operating different. One thing for me being in the funeral home business, this is what I understand. This is the views and opinions of Sean's. I understand from that businessman. Sometimes God is trying to tell you something, and you have an uncircumcised ear, is what T.D. Jakes are calling. An uncircumcised ear. That means you're cut off from listening. You're cut off from hearing. You're doing, nah, I don't want to hear that. When your brother or your sister or your mama telling you something, I don't want to hear that, I don't want to hear that. So God says, you know what? I got to do something really major for him to hear. Got to do something major for her to hear. So they grab your most precious flower within your flower garden of importance. And he becomes one of these people I read. Now you got to pause for a second to sit down and reevaluate. Do a mirror check. And it's all because of you've been you've been I want to say dysfunctional. You've been disobedient. It's all because of disobedience, of not listening.
Of not listening. He who had an ear, let him hear.
It's all about disobedience. It's all about a sinful nature. My brother Joe say, draw a line in the sand. That is why church is important. That is why going around positive people is important. So that you can learn a level of principles, integrity, standards. So that way, at least the most at-risk, vulnerable folk will say, you know what, man, I'm gonna look out for him. So maybe somebody else would have knew that it was some beef going on with Nipsey and the dude and said, nah, man, Nipsey my man.
Right.
Because there's been times that something been going on and I knew guys in the hood that had no money. They had street cred.
Yeah, they had street cred.
And they said, oh, no, man, Sean, my man.
Yeah.
No, man, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And I've been attached with not only just the GDs that I grew up around and I grew up affiliated with. I grew up and I migrated GDs, Vice Lords, BDs, Moles. All them was in my shop at one time.
One-stop shop, yeah.
And I let them know, man, you know what? We got more things that's in common than we got that's uncommon, that's different. You know, all our families ain't got nothing. What you beefing for, man? They had to do a mirror check.
Yeah.
And some of them had to ride off.
But you was able to school them.
And some of them had to ride off and maybe go smoke something. Some of them had to ride off and go drink something. But I put some fat on their head they could not reject.
Truth. That
made them think. Because these folks ain't gonna come in your church. How must I get saved? They don't know nothing about that. A tree is known by its fruit. The folks before him didn't know nothing about that. The folks before her don't know nothing about that. So now we got to figure out a way in 2019 to reach them folk.
That's right.
But when you cut off and you got an uncircumcised ear and you in leadership, it's my way or the highway.
Right.
If they either come through this door or they don't get no help. Well, you wonder why your program ain't growing. You wonder why your audience ain't growing. You wonder why your congregation don't grow. You wonder why your community don't grow. Because you got an uncircumcised ear and a prideness about yourself, where you don't want to connect with other folk. I mean, I thank God, and I thank God for Saturday, because it made me open my mind up to saying, all folk ain't bad. And what I realized that,
and it was genuine.
And what, man, I looked at the video. See, you got to look at the video. You look at the video that Carlotta Donaldson taped, and Jason knew, because I'm able to see the scan of the room. And I'm able to see the facial expressions. So as I crack the jokes about, if I crack the jokes about the second grade teacher, and I crack the jokes about Mr. Somerville making every kid feel as though they can go get a record contract. And you know, and I talked about my mom, and you know, her coming to the school, being responsible mom and want to whoop me, you know what I'm saying? And how Ducky stepped in and mediated that whole process.
The whole process.
You know, you know, so I looked at the facial expressions. Are they saying, hurry up and get off the stage so we can get to the next one? Or are they saying, man, I'm really proud of this guy?
Yeah, standing ovation.
And they was really saying, man, I'm really proud. And I was proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, man.
Because
I was too.
It wasn't just for me.
Yeah.
When I stood in front of your camera, I said, this one for the hood, guys.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing what I'm doing,
that's right.
It's one for the team, man.
That's right.
And whether if you want to be on team or not, it's one for the team. Just sit on the bench right now because you ain't ready to go in.
Right.
I understand how the game works.
Right. Dude didn't want to sit on the bench. You want to kill the coach.
Come on,
you
man.
want to shoot the coach.
You done shot the coach. You done shot the coach. How can we make it to a championship and you kill the coach? Ain't that something, man? And that's what's happening to our folk, man. We shooting the most precious folks, man. We killing them off. And if we ain't killing them off with a gun, we killing them off with our mouths.
Yeah.
We're killing them off with opportunity. Like the young lady in your group last week, sixth grader said, I want to go to the Olympics, and her daddy say, you will never go to the Olympics.
Sure it is.
Shooting a young lady down at 11 years old, sixth grade, man. Messed me up so bad I didn't know what to come back. I'm asking Lord in my head to give me something to come back with. And he gave me something to come back with. But I mean, how can you shoot your own, your own DNA down?
Yeah.
This your seed. That's what I wanted to say, seed. This your seed that you developed, and you shooting her mentally down.
At 11 years old.
At 11 years old. And that's the way we do our folk, man. And then we ask somebody from the other side of the team to come save us. Can you come over here and give programming and this, that? Man, do right by your own.
Yeah, take care of your own.
Take care of your own,
and
man.
And that's all they want us to do is take care of our own.
And they'll put some with your son.
Yeah.
You know?
The lady stood up at the coalition meeting and said, now, I don't live over there.
But what can I do to help? Because I don't have shootings happening in my neighborhood. I'm not scared to walk in and out my house like I seen the lady say on television. This gunfire needs to stop. You know, one thing, and I'm not just saying the younger folk. I'm talking to my older folk too, man, because it started from somewhere. And so as I was on my radio program, and ironically, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, man, we just had a snowball effect of deaths. I mean, boom, 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 boom. Even my buddy Bertie died, man. Barbara Pettis. I did amazing service for Miss Eula Curtis's, Shirley, Felicia, and Russell's mom, you know, to help them heal. But she lived a great and a long life and had grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He rolled her out just like she lived. She lived like a boss, and she went out like a boss. You know, I listened to every detail of that family. We had doves, we had limos, we had horse and carriage. I went and got some boys from out of town to come do the pallbearer thing and all that. Because she deserved all that, you know? And so—
attention to detail.
Yeah, I paid attention to detail. But then I had a guy that called me. So what I was doing, I had the radio program, and I'm saying, look, man, so much stuff happening, and I know how unprepared we are, especially when death hit you like that. Just hollered at you yesterday or last night or this morning, and boom, here it go. So I wanted my listening audience to be more prepared. So I wanted general statements, general educational statements, because this is my business. I'm the professional in it. And what folks told me, whenever you get into something, be the best at it.
Own it.
Be the best at it. So I'm the best at it.
Yeah.
Whether if it's hair doing, putting the outfit together, picking the outfit, I buy the outfit. You know, putting these flowers together, the program. Most of my family, I do nothing but lay back. But so when I'm saying this stuff, he say
on the radio.
On the radio.
Okay.
WFT 90.1 FM dial every Sunday morning 8 o'clock. And so as I'm saying this, guy called in, and I think I caught the voice, and I think I know who I can identify it to. But I called him afterwards. He said, "Nah, it wasn't me." Yeah, okay. But he said, man, it seemed like this young boy ain't doing nothing but want to promote his funeral home. And I immediately got upset. But thank God for a team.
Yeah.
Thank God for a team.
Yeah.
Because when I said on the radio what he just said, Mother Hattie got bored, and she had to come with some comeback. But Pastor Vita then took her mic back because she was leaving and had to get on him and then say, man, see, we don't know how to receive nobody. I just told you this is general information no matter where you go. I just want you to have a successful service, homegoing service, know the information that you might need. But that's what happened to us. Every time you get some forward movement,
momentum,
here goes somebody pulling the rug from out under the coach to knock the coach back 5 years, 10 years. Now you got to go through recruitment season all over. Come up with something to throw us off. Trying to discourage the very thing that's going to give us relief. I mean, because when you going through, you want relief.
That's it.
Man, if we had to go to the emergency room right now, man, we want to go to the emergency room right now, we don't care who walked through that door. A man, he could be black, he could be Asian, he could be Nigerian. When you going through that emergency room, man, racism and all that stuff go out the window. It go out the window. Let you be sitting over there and they putting them paddles on you, trying to get your heart back started. Whoever can work them paddles.
Whoever can work them.
Let them work them.
Please work them.
And that's what we're saying with community. Whoever can come to the table, man, let them work it. But it's time out that we stop wishy-washing and playing like we trying to help. Or we deceiving folk. Deceiving folk like we trying to help.
Time.
Come on, man.
Wasting time.
I just was telling young brothers, I said, man, you know, this community right here, it knocks you off your square, man, from a young age. And then they put the felonies on you, and they put your bad grades on you, and all this other stuff. And then they remember when you had your left shoe on your right foot and your right shoe on your left foot, and your clothes weren't that good, and you had a snotty nose. They'll talk about that till you 50 years old. And by the time you get 50, that's when you just starting to get a chance to clean it up. That's crazy. I just talked to a lady today. Her son said, man, I said, how your son doing? She said, you know, Sean, he talking about moving to Virginia. I said, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Get him out of here.
Get him up out of here.
Andrew Miller put a picture on Facebook of him with a FedEx package for San Antonio Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge. He erased the address and all that and just showed his name. And, you know, it took about 3 years for him to have a paradigm shift and get out of here. But he's doing great. His fiance doing great. Everybody doing great. But he was so proud that he out there hanging out with NBA players. So he go from Garden Hills to out there hanging out in NBA land, going to the games. He worked side job for the Spurs. But my thing is, and nothing wrong with Champaign-Urbana, nothing wrong with Garden Hills, but exposure. Going back to what T.I. say, you know, if this all you know, this all you know. And you can't get, no matter how high I jump, I can't get no higher than my head. And so if this is in my head, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing that I like about it is, man, I'm the righteousness of God, and I'm in right standing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I hollered at a dude about a month ago. He said, man, me and my wife, we done. I said, that ain't what the Lord telling me. And he had him a little apartment. He called me today. I said, I'm coming over there. He said, oh, my address changed. I'm at home. Went over there and shouted, never met his wife, went over there and shouted with him, man. God is faithful, man.
Man.
So ain't nobody finna knock. You just continue to be on the Lord's side and do what God is calling you to do.
God is faithful when you're doing your part.
Yeah, righteousness of God. That means in right standing.
And so I'm a firm believer, even if he don't do it.
I know that he's able. The evil boys.
Come on, man. And so one thing I want to get before we get up off this this program is that get your focus right.
Yeah. Lock in.
Get your focus right. And if your focus ain't been working, then refocus.
Yeah.
Because some folks need to refocus. Because some if it ain't going right for you, but don't get mad at seeing the other man doing what he doing and then start knocking him. I mean, it's just like me riding. I'm riding, I got my top back, it's nice, I've been waiting on this. Man, you ought to see something that looks so
I don't like riding with you when you got the top down,
man,
they look like they want to kill us, man. I was with you. I'm with you. Man, them people look crazy.
What I want you to do is stop me and ask me, Sean, how did you do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the whole blueprint.
Yeah.
Line by line, precept upon precept. I'm going to give you the whole game. But be willing to take the game.
Yes, sir.
Take the bitter with the sweet.
Sir.
And if it come down where it's me, oh Lord, standing there to prayer, and you got to change some stuff, be willing to change.
The prodigal son had to go back home.
Come on, man. Because he caught himself eating with the swine.
Yes, sir. He had to go back home.
He caught himself eating with the swine. Then once he realized, he had to come to himself. Man, we got to come to ourselves,
When you say refocus, man, he refocused, went back home. They had a robe, a ring. They killed a fatted calf. Ain't nothing wrong with refocusing. Get back on what you own.
It's all good when you realize it.
Yes, sir.
And then realize this here before we get off of here. Man, we all on the same team. So when Champaign-Urbana, the University of Illinois, and all of us can look great in the national eye, we all get the praise.
Yeah.
It's all praise.
Don't shoot the coach.
Man, don't shoot the coach.
This man shot the coach.
Shot the coach. Hey, we gonna get up out of here. I sure appreciate it, man. It is funny how time flies when you're having fun, man. This hour went really fast.
It did.
It's always good, my brother Hub. You're a good cat, man. You keep up the good work also, man. I want to say it, give you flowers while you live. It is so great to have another fellow soldier being in the city, but a great friend. And so I really appreciate it.
Can you do me a favor? Mention my man Dixon real quick, my guy Dixon, because you know he gonna call him.
Eric Dixon.
My
man, WBCP.
Yeah, him.
What? The legend.
The legend.
The DJ.
The DJ.
That's my man. Appreciate it, man.
My man.
Thank you guys for listening to us on another episode of Let the Truth Be Told.